The CAA Summer School Series presented by Canon returns today with the UNCW head coach Takayo Siddle. Coach, first off, thank you for joining us. I know we spoke, it was only a few months ago, but how are you doing and your family and everyone in your inner circle during the last few months in regards to COVID-19?
Well, Bobby, thanks for having me again. It's always good to see you. Everybody's doing well. I know we talked about it before, but just taking it day by day. You know, things are changing on a daily basis, so we're just adapting to the change, and everybody's doing well.
And speaking of change, Coach, obviously a lot of change for you personally. I mean, you're a first-year head coach. What have some of the challenges have you faced during this offseason with COVID-19 and trying to get your stamp on the program going?
Yeah, it's been challenging, but I've embraced it. You know, I think the most challenging part is building relationships with my players. You know, I haven't met them yet. I'm going to meet them all in one group for the first time tomorrow in our team meeting. So I'm excited about that. I would say that's probably been the most challenging thing for me. But we've been able to do it over Zoom calls. We've been able to do it over phone calls and FaceTime. But it's a little different when you actually get face-to-face with them. So I'm excited about building a relationship with them. But that's probably been the most challenging part for me.
And Coach, obviously, like you said, you're about to see your team very soon. And what is kind of the calendar coming up for your team? How are you going to, what are the strategies and the plans to kind of, get everyone together? You know, how will it begin? How will workouts start? And where do you see this progressing?
So I plan to start Wednesday. Our athletic department and the coaches, we all decided Wednesday is a start date for us. So we'll get after Wednesday with some conditioning, a little individual workout. I'm breaking it up into 3 groups, so we'll start doing that on Wednesday, and then we'll progress throughout the week. I want to attack it a couple different ways. You know, you could, think about it and say, hey, let's get after it and go full speed. But I got to ease them into it as much as I want to, go full speed and get everything in and go, hour and a half. I have to ease them into it. And I want to attack it as if, hey, if the season is going to start in November, we're going to be ready. But at the same time, I have to kind of approach it. If it starts in January, I have to be ready for that as well. So we got to ease them into it. And, we're going to treat these next, month and a half. We're going to get after it, but we got to make sure that we do it the right way.
And Coach, during this offseason, obviously everyone kind of had to push pause and forced into this kind of extended break a little bit. And on the brighter side, what have you done during this break? Have you been able to get into a Netflix series or new book? I mean, obviously you're getting ready for your first season as a head coach, but was there any type of maybe things you were able to do that maybe you weren't planning on doing during this extended break on the off season?
Well, I'm trying to get settled in for the most part in my new house. But, obviously with nothing to do, so you do watch TV a lot. My latest Netflix series has been Selling Sunset. It's really good. It's about a group of people out in California selling houses, and it's very interesting. But that's probably been my latest one. I've been reading Grit, the book Grit. So that's interesting as well. But just trying to stay busy. Recruiting is always important for us. So we're still trying to finish our 21 recruiting class and making sure we're planning for when our guys get back on campus and whatever they need. We got to make sure we get that for them. So I'm just planning, trying to stay ahead as much as I can.
And let's talk a little basketball now, Coach. You returned to UNCW after 3 seasons at NC State. What's the message to the team this season as you look to bring the Seahawks back to the top of the CAA?
Yeah, I think my biggest message has been ever since I took over is just the day in front of you, just doing it well. I think that's better for them. I don't want them thinking about 3 months from now. I want them to focus in on doing the day in front of them well. So we'll preach that a lot. We'll get more in depth and talk about, what our team goals and stuff like that are. But I want them to focus in on doing the day in front of them well. And if we do that enough, I feel good about the outcome.
Coach, as the players return to campus, you'll have a trio of freshmen that'll be that were freshmen last year being sophomores this year in Amaje, Shaquem, and Jake. What do you expect from them, from the experience that they can take from their freshman year as they get ready for their sophomore season?
I expect them to all have big years. We need them to have a big year, individually to help our team out. They all are extremely talented. I think if you were to rank our guys in terms of talent level and their ability, they would definitely be, in the top half of that. I'm excited about those guys. Shai had a really good freshman year. Amaje had a good freshman year for the time that he played. And I think, Jake kind of gets lost in the mix a little bit. If you look at his numbers per minutes, he had a really productive freshman year. And I expect all of those guys to make big jumps, but I'm excited about him moving forward.
Who are some of the players fans should keep their eye on this season that they might not have seen in starting role or in starring roles before?
Well, I just mentioned, I think Jake, and I told our staff, and I tell them all the time, I think he's an X factor. He's every bit of 6'9". He can play on the perimeter. He can take it down low. He can do it off the dribble. He can shoot it. I think with his skill set, his versatility, I think that he could have a really good year. Now, he's got a lot of work to do, and we got a long time before season starts. But I think that people, and especially in my system and the way that I'm going to use him, I think that he could really, really have a great year. I think Shai, they're used to him, but I think he could really turn into a star playing in our system. Amaje, those three sophomores are going to be huge for us. I think he could be special. We got to get him in great shape, the shape that I need him to be in. I think he could be special. So I'm excited about those guys. And then Michael Caro, if you look at him, he hasn't quite tapped into what people thought he was going to be coming out of high school. And I think that we're going to get that out of him. Brian Tolfrey, another guy that I can see, having a big role on our team. So I like our group as a whole. I could go down the list and talk about all of them individually, but I think that the strength of our team is our numbers. I think that we are too deep at each position, which is great. It's great for accountability. It's great for the way we want to play. And I think that we'll surprise a lot of people.
And speaking of surprising a lot of people, you'll be obviously you're coming back into the CAA and looking to get UNCW back at the top. Looking at the conference, how has the landscape changed for this league as you've seen it throughout the years, and especially what it's going to look like this year compared to last year?
Well, I think the best thing about this league, and I think it's been like this for a while, is just balance. I think on any given night, if you decide that you don't want to play, you could lose. I think that this conference is well balanced, and it's some really good teams in this league. If you look back at last year, you look at Inglesby's doing a great job at Delaware. That's a team that I think that could be a contender to win the league. I think Mike Schraggy's doing a great job at Elon. I think that they'll have a chance to be at the top of the league. You always got to talk about Hofstra and Charleston, people that have done it. So I think the league is very balanced. I think it's wide open, which is good for us. And I think that, when you look at us, I think we'll surprise a lot of teams. I can promise you guys this, wherever they pick us at in the preseason, we won't end up there. We'll be higher than that. I like our group, and I think that we could be a contender as well.
And Coach, speaking of this league, another kind of development that's happened over the last few years is the impact some of the players have had at the next level in the NBA. We've had some draft picks over the years, and then of course one of the players who's playing in the bubble right now, former UNCW Seahawk Devonte Hayes. You played a part in his development at UNCW when you were there. What's it meant to you to see his success with the Lakers during the NBA bubble?
He deserves it, Bobby. I mean, you talk about, a hard worker, one of the hardest working players that I've ever coached. Everyday guy. We like to use that term a lot, everyday guy. It wasn't a day that he came into our practices, our workouts, and didn't give, everything that he had. And you saw it in games as well. But he is one of the best people that I know. He deserves this opportunity. And the Lakers got a great one in him. And I think that, he'll continue to improve, and he'll stick in the NBA for sure. This league, and we use this in recruiting all the time, this league is a league where you can make it. You can make it as, a really good mid-major league to where, we're making it to the NCAA tournament. We can win games in the NCAA tournament. So the gap between the higher level players and the players in this league, I think is very slim. And I think that, we've gotten some national recognition over the years, but I think people need to tune in a little bit more to this league because there's some really good players in the CAA.
And Coach, another off-season headline has to do with the social justice. What have the conversations around your team concerning the social injustice movement and Black Lives Matter been like?
Bobby, what I did is as soon as things started happening, I wanted to get on a Zoom call with the guys, and I just wanted to have an open platform for them to talk. And, with some disagreements, it was a little argument going on, but that's what I expected. That's what I wanted. I just wanted them to talk about it. And my message to them was, I support you. Whatever, if you want to protest, I support you as long as it's a peaceful protest. And, on our end here at UNCW in Wilmington, what we wanted to do is we want to provide some safety and some protection for those guys. And so we put together plans to make sure they feel safe and feel comfortable. And we'll continue to try to improve that as we move forward. But I want them to know the biggest message to them was that me and my staff, we're going to support them with whatever they want to do. And we've had some guys protest, and I fully support it 100%. And we want to continue to do that.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, for sharing your insight in regards to the social injustice movement and your conversation with your team. Thank you for your insight on your summer and everything going on around the program. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully get to see this new Seahawks team on the court sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bobby. Have a good day.
You too.